5 seconds.
All right,
Unless,
something's got to happen here. Okay. I got to imagine it went higher than that.
No.
Really?
Yeah.
It seems like a great buy.
I think so. So, this one is a screen recording of the end of it because my kids just took longer to go to sleep than I realized. And did you know this thing about, like...
Probably not.
The other thing I'm wondering, though, is that I listed these before daylight savings time.
Oh, I figured that out when you said it to me. Yeah.
That's what I was wondering, too. So all of these auctions I listed at, like, starting, like, after 8 p.m. Usually we start recording, like, around 7:30-ish. But I think that might have just been you replying to a text I had sent you in that time. But, like, so I listed all these, like, starting at, like, 8 p.m., like, going on from there. And then I looked today to figure out, like, okay, what time do we need to, like, start recording at to catch, like, the last 10 minutes of this? And it was, like, 7 p.m. And I was like, that's not gonna happen because I have to put the kids to bed tonight. So, screen recorded this one. And so we're gonna watch I Know What Happens, but Ted does not.
So true.
And for this one...
Oh, yeah.
NFL MVP.
Yes.
Where are we at in the conversation on it? I think PFF officially gave Lamar their mid-season MVP, but they also, like, added the clarifier on it, like, when they were discussing it, like, but, like, not by much and kind of by default, but, like, really, it's, like, for them, and I think this is, like, interesting, it's actually more, like, if you were being realistic about the conversation, Tyreek Hill or A.J. Brown or Myles Garrett are actually, like, the ones providing the most value to their team. But
that's not possible because he's a quarterback.
Yeah. But, like, yeah, but it kind of always goes to a quarterback.
Right.
Because, like, unless you have a insane season from a non-quarterback player. But it's almost impossible.
So he's not really on pace for anything special.
No.
Other than he has a 71.4% completion percentage, which is very good. But, I mean, he's on pace for less than 4,000 passing yards. I mean, less than 20 passing TDs. And 800 rushing yards.
Yeah.
I mean...
And how many rushing TDs, though? Like, 10?
Yeah. Less than 10.
Yeah. But the thing is that, like, no other quarterback is really doing anything crazy. Tua?
But that's why it has to be Tyreek Hill for me.
Yeah, I agree. I think Tyreek Hill is having, like, one of the... I mean... He's such a different player than Randy Moss.
He's having the best year of a very good career. Which
yeah.
doesn't mean anything when you're voting for MVP. You're not comparing him to his past self.
Yeah.
But, I mean...
He's put up prolific numbers already, and he is making those look silly now.
Yeah.
I agree. I like Tyreek. Like, if we had a vote at all,
yeah,
I think Tyreek is getting it for me right now.
I mean, he's on pace to have a 2,000-yard, 16 TD, 119 yards per game, leads the NFL.
And how much of that is yards after catch, too?
Yeah,
like
15.4 yards per touch leads the league.
Which is, dude, that's insane. You get the ball in his hands, it's a first down and a half.
Yeah. Yards. I can't find yards after catch. I'll try and find it. But yeah, for me, that's probably who it is. Let me look at. Who'd you say? You said Garrett and who?
And then A.J. Brown is the other one that's kind of interesting because it's like he's quite like if Tyreek wasn't having this insane of a season, people would be talking about how crazy of a season A.J. Brown is having.
So Garrett has already forced 4 fumbles in 8 games.
Yeah.
He has 9.5 sacks.
Yeah.
8 tackles for loss. He's not leading the league in sacks, but he is in forced fumbles.
I think, isn't he tied, or does someone have 10?
Somebody must have at least 10.
Logged, okay. But he is playing Could the other thing, and this is like where like the historical context can come in. Like right now, Cleveland is allowing the fewest yards per game since 2000.
Yeah.
By like
he's leading the best defense in the NFL.
Yeah. And not even just the best defense in the NFL, like on pace to be the best defense in 2.5 decades.
Danielle Hunter has 10 sacks.
Dang. Go Danielle Hunter. I love Danielle Hunter. But a defensive player will almost never win it.
Yeah,
he would have to break the sack record.
He'd have to have 25 sacks.
Yeah. But like I don't know, like that game that he had in Indianapolis was just the most put the team on my back do.
Danielle Hunter also has forced 3 fumbles.
Yeah. Oh, so yeah. Danielle Hunter's having a season.
He's only one behind Garrett there, and he leads the league in tackles for loss with 13.
Yeah.
So you could argue that he's having a better year than Myles Garrett. In fact, probably is.
No. I mean, so it depends, like, what, it depends what you're looking at. Because then, if you go on to, like, something like PFF grades, like, Myles Garrett's is on pace not only to break, but to, like, shatter the single season, like,
right. But
pass rush.
No MVP voter is looking at PFF grades.
But they're looking at like some of those more advanced metrics now, as far as like win rate, and then also too just like having an eye. And this plays more into like defensive player of the year than it would like MVP. Like you said, MVP he has to break the sack record. Is the only way to enter the conversation.
Right.
And even then, it might not be enough.
So, A.J. Brown is only 8 yards per game behind Tyreek Hill, less than 100 total yards. 15 yards per catch. 15 yards per touch.
Yeah.
He's on pace for over 100 catches, and he has 2 fewer TDs. So, yeah, he's not far off.
Yeah.
I mean, if you throw in one more touchdown catch.
Yeah. Well, and it's so funny because they're so different.
Yeah.
Like, Tyreek is either A, he's just going to beach off the line of scrimmage, and all Tua has to do is kind of get it near him downfield. Or B, he's going to run a crosser, and then he will just beat you from there. Whereas, like, A.J. Brown is... Jalen Hurts is just going to kind of throw it up in his vicinity,
right,
and he will make the catch.
Yeah.
And they're just so, like, different to each other, but, like, similar in the way that they just kind of, like, they both win.
Yeah, I'm just thinking more about, like, the situations they're each in, and it's interesting. Like, they both have Alabama quarterbacks who are teammates. Both of them have a solid second wide receiver behind them who also went to Alabama.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting.
We're down to 45 seconds left in Lamar. It's been chilling at 8:50. This is one of my least favorite things that Panini does, is these, like, retail parallels. Like, so supposedly this is, like, an out of 7.
Total?
Yeah.
Wow.
So there's either 7 or some people say it might be 11.
That's
of,
pretty
like, these,
insane.
like, red parallels. But it's also, like, not rookie.
Yeah.
Just a thing. Like, and there's also, too, because it's not, like, the thing I don't like, so with, like, the Micro Mosaic or Kaboom or whatever, like, it's clear that it's like, hey, this is special. This is like...
in some cases.
Well, I mean, unless you're us. 5 seconds. Unless,
right, something's gotta happen here. Okay. I gotta imagine it went higher than that.
No.
Really?
Yeah.
It seems like a great buy.
I think so. I think whoever got this got, like, in my opinion, like, I think a really good deal. Especially, like, so I purposely, like, waited to list this card until, like, kind of mid-season, Lamar having a great year. But it's, like, one of those things, too, of, like, I don't know, if you have $50 to go spend on a Lamar card, what is, like, more fun to have in your collection? Like, a random out of 199 auto? Or, like, this. Like, this is kind of one of those cards where it's, like, unless, like, you
fun.
know, you don't, like, it's not anything.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I do not like the retail parallel, like, super short prints that Panini does, because they're just, like, I don't know.
The picture is so small in this layout.
Yeah.
Like, there's, first of all, the border is wide, but then you have this extra stuff in between the border and the photo.
Yeah.
I mean, and he's actually bigger than the photo, which is interesting. It's just interesting layout. The border's a bit too thick for me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I didn't hate last year's Prizm design, but I definitely didn't love it. But I'm kind of always that way with Prizm. I'm like,
Yeah.
you're just like bulky optic.
Yeah. We've
talked about these designs ad nauseum.
Yeah.
But
So, yeah,
All right.
so that was the Lamar. I think this is
Tyreek
like the
Hill.
first one of these that we've watched that I think this was like a really good buy.
Oh, yeah.
The other ones I was like very happy with what it sold for. And I'm like, this is fine. Like,
we're watching
But-
this week 10 Thursday Night Football starts tonight.
yeah.
So who do you think should be the MVP right now if the season ended
Yeah.
today?
Yeah, this will go up like, I think tomorrow. So this is before Browns-Ravens matchup, because that could also be big in that too. So,
True. If
leave a
Garrett
like.
gets 6 sacks.
Yeah. Well, before we end it, what's your final MVP prediction?
Who finishes as the MVP this
Yeah.
season?
So we can, so we have the receipts.
I wasn't prepared for this, but let me think.
This on the web.
All right, we're gonna have to edit some of this out because I'm gonna think for a second.
Okay.
Do you know yours?
I do. Do you want me to give
Not yet.
mine? Okay.
You can give yours first, but I want to have a couple more moments of untainted thought.
Okay.
Let me look at one other guy.
Oktoberfest. It's not October, but it's still good.
Close enough. The round's down.
Close enough for government work. Close enough for beer drinking. Oh God, Panthers Bears is Thursday
know.
Night Football.
I know. Every Thursday
dude.
they outdo themselves.
Oh my!
Every time-
Combined 3 wins on
Every
Thursday
time you
Night
think you've seen
Football.
the most Thursday Night Football possible matchup, they beat it. All right.
Oh,
I am actually gonna throw out a name we haven't mentioned yet.
okay.
Christian McCaffrey.
Oh,
He's
like
having
that.
an extremely good year. He's already got 13 TDs.
yeah. He is one of the guys. He's like on a pace where it's like could be.
And I think he's gonna be, of all the guys we've listed, on possibly the best team.
Yeah. I'm gonna be super boring. My boring one is Mahomes. I think he just kind of like either whether it be like Lamar and Tua's production kind of falls off a bit, or like Mahomes is just gonna have like as he just continues developing with like Rashee Rice.
Well, let's be
and,
clear.
like,
He is the most valuable player in the NFL.
yeah.
If you
and,
put
like,
any other quarterback with that receiver room,
oh no,
that would
No,
be a
thank
rough
you.
scene.
so like he's just gonna go and have like 6 or 7 4-touchdown games in the second half of the year, and just like it's gonna be like, oh okay, you're Mahomes.
Yeah.
Here you go. My dark horse though is Burrow.
I was gonna throw Burrow out there as well. I just don't see it happening.
I think like he just ends up it's
I
kind
don't-
of same sort of thing. Like he's a lot of other guys have kind of like plateaued or started going down a little bit. Like he's the only one right now who's like kind of on an upswing. And so like that's just like I don't know if he can. I'm not sure how much I believe in the Bengals. Especially like just in this division, they still have to play the Browns again. They still have to play the Ravens again. They have to play the Steelers again, and the Steelers offensively are not good, but their defense is fantastic. Like the
Right.
Bengals have the hardest remaining schedule of anyone in football, so like he also could just like crumble.
Give me a non-quarterback.
Non-quarterback, Tyreek Hill.
Yeah.
I think like Tyreek like could just finish with like 20 touchdowns
I just
and
don't
like
trust-
2,200 yards.
I just don't trust Tua to maintain.
I don't think Tua's doing much of anything.
But he's doing enough to...
Yeah, he's getting the ball in Tyreek's hands.
But some of the throws he's making are really good.
Yeah, oh well, I mean, he was a first-round pick quarterback.
Of course. I'm just saying
he's Hawaiian Dak.
I still don't trust him. He's better than Dak. He's
Not
got
by
he's got
much.
better arm strength than Dak.
Sure.
Which when you have a cheetah is a good skill to have.
Yeah.
I don't think he's as smart as Dak. I don't think that's a great comp. But you know a lot more about football than me. If I was comping him, I think he's more of a Baker.
Well, he's everything you would have hoped Baker could have been.
Yeah. He's Hawaiian Baker.
Sure.
Hawaiian roll. All right, let's end this video.
Later.
I think it's going to be Tyreek too. I'm just picking CMC.
I like the CMC pick.
Yeah.
I like that one.
All right.
Let us know.
Tyreek has the highest ceiling. CMC has a higher floor.